participate and look at all this wonderful work that came through. And I can't remember which year, and probably it doesn't matter, but one of my favourite awards, and I have told the story elsewhere, was the Young Practitioner Awards, because to me that's the future of the industry. And I remember that I was the lead judge in the Young Practitioner Awards, and we selected Jane Dodd as the Young Practitioner of the Year. And if Jane wishes to tell you which year later, that's fine. But I think it's absolutely fantastic that you can see a pathway through the industry where that young practitioner is today National President of PRINZ. So I congratulate you for what you've done. But look, the other thing, and in my last role as Chief Judge for 4 years, the thing that I really appreciated was the input of the fellows. And I was asked by the PRINZ executive a few years back to work up a paper on what the fellows should do, because we gave away these fellowships and there kind of wasn't a lot of things for them to get involved in. And I said, well, they should constitute the basis for the judging panel. And so we went out to the college and said, your responsibility is to participate in the judging. And each year, for the 4 years that I was Chief Judge, we always got 30 to 35 fellows who put their hands up and judged. And I think that makes our awards really, really valuable because of the numbers of judges. It's right across the board, and we do try and swing the judges around, so get them out of their comfort level. So if they're into corporate, we might throw them into not-for-profit or whatever. So it gives them a testing time, so we come up with the best work in New Zealand. Which brings me to the purpose for tonight's presentation. Melanie and Andrea are going to tell you about their Supreme Award-winning project. And I'm going to let them tell you about that, but let me just tell you about it from the judging perspective, because the Chief Judge, the National President, and one other senior fellow constitute the judging panel. I think Graeme was on the judging panel, and who was the third? Anyway, there were the two of us anyway that made a difference. And the thing that I just want to leave you with is the idea that when I read this project, I wished I had done it. And I look at all of the projects because I do read every one of the awards. I think there were 52 or 55 awards. Every piece of work, I looked at that and said, isn't that interesting? I would love to have done that particular project. And it's also telling me too, with a lifetime in the industry, that the corporates are doing such great work. And I look at some of the corporates, for example, Land Transport, in the last 2 years have done very, very well in recognition of their awards. And I just have to think that the professionalism of the corporate sector is a huge shift away from the 70s when the industry was largely influenced by the consultancies. And that's not to say the consultancies are being pushed aside. I just think it's fantastic that we've increased the standard of the corporate professionalism to such a high level that tonight you're going to hear about one of those awards that is an outstanding award. It was presented at the conference, and I understand, and I missed that presentation, but I understand it was went down very, very well, and it has also been presented to the Bay of Plenty Communicators Group. So Tim, just coming back to your generous gift, thank you. I've always enjoyed participating. I'm still available for the odd thing. Graeme and I just 2 years ago did an ethics hearing, and we only ever get ethics hearings about once every 10 years, and I've been on the last 3. My first one was in my first week as president, and then I think Graeme had only just taken over as president, and we got whacked with a ethics complaint. Doesn't happen often, but I think it's healthy that in our industry that we are prepared to sit back and listen to complaints over ethical behaviour. So without any more comment, Tim, again, thanks to you and the PRINZ staff. Deepti, of course, where's Dee? Oh, they're taking the photographs. Deepti does an amazing job behind the scenes to make sure the awards go in a very smooth way, and I thank you, Deputy, again for that. So let's ask now Andrea and Melanie to come up and show us why they are the Supreme Award winners for this last 12-month period. Congratulations again.